here we are again. Here we are again. I find myself on another match reaction after another disappointing game and another disappointing result, and things just don't change, do they? FENERBACHE won, Manchester United won. We are winless in Europe this year. 3 games, 3 points. 3 games, 3 points. Not in the Champions League, in the Europa League. Not against Barcelona, not against Real Madrid, not against Man City, not against Bayern, not against Juve, not against whoever you want to name. 3 points against Fenerbahce, Porto, and Twente. Let me repeat that. Fenerbahce, Porto, and FC Twente. We are so horrible that it's just like I'm running out of words to describe this team every match reaction. I don't even know, like my head is so gone that I don't know if I actually want to talk about the game or do I just want to talk about the state of the Europa League for us this season. Because we're sitting 21st. 21st, guys. I don't know if you understand this. We're 21st in the Europa League. We're only 3 spots away from being out of the playoffs. Not the top 8, because the top 8 automatically qualify. I'm 3 spots away from being out of the playoffs. And guess what? Next game, we play PAOK at home, who are only 2 points behind us. They're sitting on 1 point. We're sitting on 3. We are in a 6-pointer situation next game against PAOK. Because if they beat us, they'll go ahead of us by 1 point. If we beat them, we pretty much guarantee somewhat of a spot in the playoffs. Not a qualifier, the playoffs. This situation is getting worse and worse every game. And it was 1 win against Brentford, and people wanted to act like, oh, look at us, we just came after the international break and we're looking good. No, we're back to reality. And the reality is we're not a good team. And we'll speak about today's game. We'll speak on the fact that we have 1 win in our last 10 European games. It all started with a loss. Let me tell you a story. Everyone sit down, grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, gather everyone around, sit on the floor, cross your legs, it's story time, put a blanket on. 2 years ago, we played a team called Sevilla in the Europa League. And there's this scary little monster that they have. His name is Nesiri. He scored against us. He cooked us, and they knocked us out. 2 years later, we play a team from Turkey. We see familiar faces. Oh, that's Jose Mourinho. Oh, that's Fred. Oh, look, that's Amrabat. Then you look at the background, and this monster, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", I don't know how tall he is. Monster comes out of the shadow, and it's in the city again. And guess what he does? He does what he does best. I was told this guy had 1 goal this season. 1 goal. I had no doubt that United are going to give him his second today. And they did. From 1-0, we go into the second half. I'm skipping, by the way. Like, usually I break down the game, like, event by event. The first 10 minutes, the first 20 minutes, the first 30 minutes, the first half, halftime. I'm skipping all that. Because we go into halftime, up 1-0, undeservingly. And then in the first 5 minutes of the second half, what happens? We concede a goal. How many times have I done a match reaction where I sit here and I talk about, you know what? United never look good after halftime. That halftime team talk, I never know what happens. We never look good in the second half. Guess what? Rinse and repeat again. I might as well just play you one of my older reactions, because I'm pretty sure I said it about 4 or 5 times this season. We go into halftime, come back onto the pitch. 5 minutes in, we concede a goal. From point blank range in the city header. What he does best. His headers are like snipe shots. You're not avoiding them. He's a sniper when it comes to headers. But let's rewind a little bit and tell you why I ignored the first half. Because the first half, fair enough. It was a good counter-attacking goal. Everyone did well there. Ugarte from winning the ball to playing it to Garnacho. Garnacho squaring it. 2 touches there between Mazraoui and Xerxes. Lay it off to Eriksen. Eriksen, great goal. Having a great season so far. Decent GA. Decent eye test performances. He's been doing it all for us in the 8, in the 10, and in the 6. our best player this season so far. But let's talk about everything else. United did not dominate the ball in the first half. We let them have the ball. We just were sitting there. No press. Every time we won the ball, hoof ball, would lose in about 4 or 5 seconds. I did a challenge on my watch. I was like, let's see if we're going to keep the ball for 10 seconds. Let's start counting. And we couldn't. We were struggling to keep the ball for more than 10 seconds against them. And we allowed them chances. Onana kept us in the first half. And Ugarte, to be fair. That first chance that got blocked by Ugarte, I'm not a big fan of Ugarte, but I will be honest, that was a very good block. That is a goal-saving block. That block was good enough to be considered a goal. That's how good that block was. Great play from them. Saint-Maximin was doing his thing on one side. And what's the other guy's name? Oh my God, I forgot his name. The guy that was diving. Oh my God, the right winger. I'm so hot right now. My head is so gone that I forgot his name. And they were both cooking us on both flanks. Good ball being played in the middle. Gets past Onana. Goal's empty. Tadic arrives a little bit late there. But he has an empty net until Ugarte shows up. Slide tackle blocks you. Great tackle. Kept us in it. What do we do? Do we fix up after that? Nope. Do we do any tactical adjustments after that? Nope. Do we change any personnel after that? Nope. Just keep absorbing and absorbing and absorbing more attacks and more pressure. And then Onana makes bar that penalty that he saved against Copenhagen last season. I think this might be his best moment in a United shirt. Honestly, that might be his best moment in a United shirt. Because he makes an amazing double save. 2 headers from point blank range. Notice how many times I say headers from point blank range against Onana. Makes a great double save. Saves it. The first one was low. Goes to Tadic, who just crosses it back in right away. Another header and saves it, and it goes out for a corner. Kept us in the game. And how do we reward him? We allow him another header being played against him in the first 5 minutes in the second half by En-Nesyri. And then people wonder why I sit here frustrated. We never look better in the second half. It was all up until we made a couple changes. Actually, let's talk about the changes. Because the changes made us look a little bit half decent. But when you look at what the changes are, we brought on Højlund and we brought on Casemiro. Those are the 2 changes. But what did we do? We moved Mazraoui back to left back, who should have never played a minute in the 10 today, because he was actually horrible all around. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is probably the worst game I've seen from Mazraoui. Maybe the Spurs game was worse. But it was horrible on the ball today. So many giveaways. We put Casemiro in the midfield, and we let Eriksen play the 10. Højlund has a little bit more pace than Xerxes, so we look better on the counter. He plays up front, and Mazraoui goes back to left back. Who would have thought that putting Eriksen in the 10 and Casemiro in the double pivot and Mazraoui in the left back would make us look better? That actually should have been my first talking point to start this. Why? Oh my God. I can't believe that I have to say this. Why am I playing my left back in the 10? What, Bruno is suspended? What was Ahmad doing on the bench? What was Casemiro doing on the bench when you could have put him and then put Eriksen in the 10? Because Eriksen ended up playing 90 minutes anyways. I thought he would probably just take off Eriksen because he's been playing a lot of games. He ended up playing 90 anyways. So why did you play him 90 in the 10? Why'd you play him deeper and put Mazraoui there? If you wanted build-up, at least put Mazraoui in the midfield. I understand. Be like, he's picking up the ball of the back line. You put him in the 10. He did nothing in the 10. Absolutely nothing in the 10. And Amad Diallo, let me talk about Amad Diallo. I feel bad for this guy. Amad Diallo, please, if you're listening to this, or if anyone who knows Amad Diallo is listening to this, Amad Diallo, please don't renew your contract with United. Run out your contract and go do something else. This kid was a 10 for Atalanta, played in the 10 for Sunderland, plays in the midfield for his national team, the Ivory Coast, and we today struggle to find a 10. And what do? We put a left back and leave him on the bench. And to make it worse, and to add, bro, oh my God. To make it worse, and to add insult to injury, we need a goal, and we bring on Anthony. And the only reason Ahmad came on is because I think Anthony, I mean, listen, I'm not a big fan of him as a football, but I don't wish injuries on no one. So I hope he feels better and he recovers soon. But the only reason Ahmad got 2 minutes today off the bench is because Anthony did his knee. That is just, this is like embarrassing. That is so incompetent. We are really putting Anthony ahead of Ahmad right now in the pecking order. Like, what has Anthony done? Sorry, what has Ahmad done for Ten Hag to hate him so much? It's like this guy was. We all knew the minute Ahmad's performances drop a little bit, he's gonna bench him right away. And not only does he bench him now, he actually doesn't put him ahead of Anthony. Anthony, you know, we need to go and we're bringing on Anthony ahead of Ahmad. You generally think you could get a moment from Anthony, but not from Ahmad. Not the goal. I'm just talking about at least a moment. Because guess what? Ahmad's first touch led to a dangerous free kick on the edge of the box, which on another day could lead to a set piece goal. That is the level that this manager is reaching. Now, honestly, when is enough? Like, I'm so tired of even talking about Ten Hag out every day that I don't do it. But honestly, we're just throwing away Europe? We're throwing away the Europa League? Honestly, is that how bad it's got? I'm not even talking about the Champions League. I'm talking about the Europa League. We're not good enough to compete with the Europa League. I need people to deep that. If you have gotten this far into the video, listen to these words carefully. We are throwing away the Europa League because we don't think we're good enough for it. Because honestly, the fact that this guy's still here and we haven't sacked him for these results is shocking to me. We don't fancy ourselves for the Europa League anymore. Meanwhile, Spurs are sitting there with 9 points in second place in the table. I'm sitting here with 3 points. Honestly, embarrassing. We're reaching new levels of low, honestly. Like the video, subscribe. I honestly have nothing more to say at this moment about this team. Ten Hag out, man. Peace.